Hello everyone, welcome back to Spar&Brawl. Hope you're having a decent day. So as always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam, who has some updates on the recent developments concerning the Iran-US nuclear negotiation deal. And there was, of course, also the ship attack that happened a few days ago, which we'll get to towards the end of this video, and Sam will pretty much update us with what we know. Okay, Sam, the floor is yours. Please start with the nuclear negotiations.
Sure. The updates today are very much Tuesday focused. On Tuesday, um, what has been reported and described as the and set of negotiations between Iran and US took place in Vienna. Although Iran has denied that there are any direct negotiations, it seems that like there's going to be a 4+1 meeting with Iran in it, in one room, and then there's going to be a 4+1 meeting with US in a separate room. So the negotiations are still indirect, but I mean, but they have started, and everybody's report, and there are a lot of positive signs. Iranian president said that there are strong signs of there are strong signs that are implying that the deal is going to be revived very soon and very fast, because as we mentioned in our previous videos, which you should check out, Iranian elections are coming up soon. So it's going to be interesting to see if, because of that, diplomats in Iran and in US or in Europe push for a much quicker resolution to these negotiations than to previous ones. For example, I think the negotiations over the original deal during the Obama years took over a year. So, I hope this one is going to be quicker. So there were some positive signs there on Tuesday, and then we had the report today, actually, that the spokesperson for U.S. government said that America is ready to remove sanctions that are not in line or not in accordance with the deal. He said that at the moment I cannot give you any details. I'm not going to say the big, or even I'm not going to name any, like, for example, these sanctions or those specific sanctions, but we are ready to remove sanctions that are not in line or in accordance with the deal, which technically would be referring to sanctions put during Trump years. Again, we did a video last week, which, again, if you check it out, that would be quite nice. It was about the sanctions that Trump put on Iran during the last 4 years after he got out of the deal. And there are a lot of those sanctions that seem extremely hard to reverse, like the ones that are basically put on certain organizations in Iran, because these sanctions are put on them because they are designated as a terrorist organization. And if and it's not in the hand of just the executive branch to remove that. I think they need the judiciary's help to basically remove those sanctions. But still, it's a positive sign that Americans are at
Sorry,
least
are
signal.
these the so-called poison pill sanctions that you're referring to?
Yeah, exactly. They're the poison. They're against individuals or organizations in Iran. And these sanctions basically came into force because Trump designated them a terrorist organization. And the legal, I mean, obviously, I think it's idiotic that these organizations are named as a terrorist organization or designated as such. But the legal case for it is that they support Hezbollah and Hamas. And Hezbollah and Hamas are internationally recognized as terrorist organizations. Therefore, the legal case for removing those designations would be very hard um, to do, I think, in the US. So, but again, as I said, it's a very positive signal that, Biden administration is sending. And I think Kyle Klinsky did an interesting video, and that he mentioned that he's basically flip-flopping all the time in foreign policy issues, including on Iran. And yeah, it seems they don't have a clear strategy. Some days, the ones that are more like it's argued that Rob Malley, the guy who's the special envoy, he's more in favor of a more drastic action. Some days he wins, there are positive signs. Some other days Hawks wins, there are less positive signs. So that's the way negotiations are going. But now we can get to the second part of the update, which is quite interesting. So the same day that these negotiations, or whatever you want to describe them, indirect talks, passing notes through friends in the classroom, whatever you want to call them, in the same day, an Iranian ship that is located near Djibouti, near a port of Djibouti, the African country. It's it's an Arabic name, so I am uh, really it's let me just read the thing, because and I apologize in advance for ruining for my pronunciation of the Arabic names and all that. So, a spokesperson for the Iranian Foreign Ministry confirmed on Wednesday that the Saviz, which was a ship located in the Red Sea, was slightly damaged in the Red Sea off the coast of Djibouti at about 6 a.m. on Tuesday due to explosions, adding that the cause is under investigations. Iranians have not, as of yet, named anyone as a responsible party. They are saying they're investigating. Sepah, the Iranian other military force, announced that they were caused by mines that, they apparently there are these mines that they stick to the ship, so and then they explode later on. They said the explosions were caused by that, but apparently the damage is not much. Interestingly, there was an American official that told New York Times that Israelis have notified Americans that the operation was carried out by Israelis. Benny Gantz, Israel's defense minister, when they asked him about this in an interview, typical of Israeli government, said that we don't comment on our defensive or offensive operations, but we are ready to defend our land we are ready to defend against any threat whatsoever. Interestingly, though, this ship Saviz, Iran claims that this is a ship that is located in the off the coast of Djibouti because to combat piracy and sea piracy, because this is where there's a lot of sea piracy, and this is very near it's near coast of Somalia, where that famous movie Captain Phillips. A lot of Iranian boats have been taken hostage during the last 5-6 years. We've heard usually very small boats, not really ships. So they say it's there to combat piracy and provide logistic and tactical support. Saudi Arabia has on numerous occasions complained about the ship being there, and they say it's used for military purposes and for to spy on Saudi Arabia. Israel has made the same claims that it's a ship for military purposes and to provide to allow Iranians to spy on Saudis and Israelis and others, Egyptians, for example, and to provide support for Yemeni rebels, Houthis, that are connected to Iran. So, and to be honest, the reality is probably a bit of both. I would assume majority of because this ship has been on such a focus. I would assume majority of the things it does is actually combating piracy and all that. But I'm sure there are elements within Iranian regime that may use it to smuggle arms, or may use it because that's what spy agencies do. CIA usually uses charitable foundations or news organizations, and without their knowledge, sometimes. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if there are certain military activities going on there. But I do think the timing of the attack, and the attack is clearly aimed at sabotaging the negotiations, the nuclear negotiations, because we also had the report that the head of Mossad is going to visit U.S. to give a report to U.S. administration about Iran's illegal and what do you say, incendiary activities in the region, inflammatory activities that Iran is doing in the region. So I think it's a part of a campaign by Israel, Saudi, and other regional rivals of Iran to undermine the negotiations, very much like a lot of activities that was going on during the negotiations over the uh, last deal, Barjam, as it's called in Iran.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. So yeah, we're gonna have to see if there are more of these kind of things that come out, as you said, as we get closer to the Iranian election, as the perhaps the nuclear talks pick up. Netanyahu might come up with a drawing of the boat and show us what's going on inside and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. There
so
is, as you can see, it's a boat with a
yeah,
TNT.
TNT.
They're gonna blow up the whole. I don't know what,
Yeah,
but yeah. But to be and it's quite interesting if for people who are interested in history, when U.S. was a friend of Iran during Shah times, I believe I might be exaggerating here, calling it a plan, but I think there were talks about the fact that Iran should establish military bases in its southern coast in Sea of Oman, and and put ships off the coast of Africa in East Africa to provide security there, anti-piracy security there, sort of becoming the police of the region or something. I don't know if it was plans or talks or just the idea by Shah or something. But when things were good, they really wanted Iran to be there. Now they really don't. So
yeah. Okay, brilliant. So, Sam, as you mentioned, there are probably going to be a lot more Iranian news coming up in the next few months. So, please like and subscribe if you want more breakdowns, analysis like this. Because, yeah, that's my hunch. I'm
yeah,
sure. I'm sure there's going
and
to be
we
quite a
tried.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I promise to be very quick and short with the news stuff. Very not much fat in our videos.
Yeah.
So if you want a quick update, come here because there's a lot of bullshit analysis out there. It's just that they are negotiating. Nobody knows what they're negotiating over, and other people are trying to undermine them. That's about it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, I think that summed it up. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. Anything else to add, or?
No, not on
Okay,
this one. No.
okay, perfect. Thank you very much for watching. If you like, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.